Hello and welcome to my Plan With Me bullet journaling video for the month of March. My name is Melody. I'm glad that you're here. And yeah, let's just jump right into it. I'm lighting a candle and there's something on the front of my bullet journal book that I didn't notice until editing, and I don't know what it was, but let's just ignore it and move on. Okay, so like I said, obviously this is the month of March. And the theme for this month is going to be the Aries. Yes, I am doing a zodiac themed bullet journal for this month, and I know March is predominantly Pisces season, but listen, I am a late March birthday. March 26th is my birthday, so I'm an Aries, and so whenever I think about March, I think about Aries season. So that is why I wanted that to be this month's theme. So I hope you like it, and I hope there's some Aries out there watching and getting some inspo for their future bullet journals. So first and foremost, I have outlined some of the font and sketches I made prior to starting filming. This font for March and for the Aries on the left side there is called Darker. I found it on DaFont, so if you like that font, you can go to dafont.com and search Darker, and that's the inspiration I had for the font this month. It's not exactly the same, but it is the font that I copied for this month, and yeah. And I just made my calendar there on the right, and now I'm going to start the fun, and I've got out my alcohol markers, and we're going to be coloring a lot on this page. I'm going to be doing a full background ombre kind of color here on the left of the colors that I think of when I think of Aries. So oranges, reds, and then some blacks too, because I am going to be putting the constellation and some stars on this page as well. This does take some time and some blending with these markers. Now I am using knockoff Copic markers, or Copic, however you want to say that. I do own some Copic markers, but I do use knockoff ones too, and I think they work really well. The only problem with alcohol markers like these, though they are very bright and vivid and easy to blend, they bleed really, really bad. So you will notice this month, instead of having 4 different spreads, I'm only going to have 3, and that is because I'm going to kind of skip a page. You'll see what I mean once I'm done with this page, but I will be skipping pages to, combat the fact that these are bleeding through quite a bit. But right now, I am coloring in my ram, so as you can see, I just left that outline there that you could see after I colored in the background, and I'm just filling it in as dark as possible with some black markers. I did use Sharpies, and I used Copic markers, and I kind of just layered them. And yeah, and I'm also filling in this text here, but you will really see this page come to life once I get out my white gel pen. Yes, I do use a lot of washi tape in today's video. In every single spread, I use a washi tape border. So yeah, if you don't already have washi tape, I find it's very helpful, especially just trying to make a page look coherent. Sometimes you just want a border, and for this month, that's kind of what I wanted. Every page I wanted to have a border, and washi tape is just a really quick, easy, effective way to border any page. And yeah, so I have this beautiful gold washi tape that I use on the vertical lines, and then this gold and pinky, orangey, yellow kind of washi tape I use on the horizontal lines. I just get my washi tape from any craft store, really. They have a ton. Here I play with a different washi tape and I decide against it. I just, it's really easy to lay washi tape, see what it looks like, and then peel it up if you don't like it. So it's a really nice tool to use when bullet journaling, and I really take advantage of my tape this month. And for the title of March, I decided to do an ombre again using my alcohol markers, and I just think that an ombre in a title looks really, really cool, and it's really easy to blend these markers together as long as the colors are close enough to each other, if that makes sense. So this orange fades really well into this red-orange color, and I just love the way that looks, an ombre in a title. I think it just looks so cool and so sharp. And now I'm just laying in a bit of a drop shadow, which also I think makes this font really pop on this page. Okay, y'all, listen. This pen I'm using right now is one of my all-time favorites. I can't live without it. It's from Tombow. I don't know the name off the top of my head because everything on the pen is written in Japanese, but I will leave the name down below. And there's two different styles for this type of pen. There's a hard tip and a soft tip. I personally prefer and am using the hard tip right now. It's just a really tiny brush tip pen. Like, that's all it is, but it's just so black, so easy to control. I feel like you can easily get a fine line or a thick line with it, and it's always super opaque. If you're into calligraphy, this is one of my all-time favorite pens to use when I'm writing anything. I will leave the name below for anyone who is interested. Just fair warning though, this is an $11 or $12 pen, so it's not cheap, but I think it is worth it. And by the way, now we're on to the left side, and I'm using some not as expensive, but still really nice white gel pen. I think this is a Jelly Roll white gel pen, and I'm going in with the details of the ram. And this is where this page really comes together. And FYI guys, I don't know what a ram looks like off the top of my head, so I am looking at a reference photo for this drawing, just one from Google. I find one that I like and I tweak it however I want or need, like the Aries symbol on the forehead. That was an addition from me. But just so you know, I do use reference photos, and you should too if you need to. They're good tools, and not everything has to be 100% original design all the time, especially with something like a bullet journal. It's okay to use references. Over here by my day's red title, I am including some flames, which I really like this edition because, of course, Aries is a fire sign, so I really just thought it'd be fun to include some flames on this page. And I think it really brought in and just tied everything together. I am switching and using my Tombow water-based markers quite a bit for this. They also blend really well, and these are typically my go-to bullet journaling markers because they do not bleed through as bad as the Copic alcohol markers. So just a note on that. And now we are back on the left side, and I'm finishing out this page with my white gel pen yet again, and I've drawn in the Aries constellation at the top and a fair smattering of stars throughout the background to wrap up this page. And once that's done, then this spread is pretty much done, and I absolutely love how this turned out. I think the Aries vibes are immaculate, and it's exactly what I wanted it to be. I left this part in so that you could see what I mean about the Copic markers bleeding through. It's pretty bad. It's pretty substantial, and the bullet journal I have has pretty thick paper. It's just something that you're not going to escape if you use alcohol markers, it seems. So I just tape the next two pages together. I used a double-sided sticky kind of tape, and that's how I solved that problem. It double layers the paper and basically makes just one thicker piece of paper, and that's how I get away with using Copic markers. Alright, so this next spread is going to be my books read spread. I say this in every video, but I've got my layout pretty much down to a T for my books read page. But this month, I had a lot of fun with it because I made it a little bit different. And here I've thrown in a border with some washi tape just to start things out. And in the middle center crease here at the top, I start by drawing the Aries symbol. And, well, we'll get back to it, but now I'm making my little title lines and my star rating sections for the books I'm actually going to read, because every month I like to have the title, author, star rating, and a little section to just write a little blurb about the book or how I felt about the book. So that's what I'm penning out right now. And now I'm getting back to that center crease with the Aries symbol, and I'm putting this Aries symbol inside a sun, so to represent my sun sign, because Aries is my sun sign. And here on the bottom left, I put an arrow for my rising sign and a moon in the right corner for my moon sign. So my rising sign there on the left is Sagittarius, if you know your little symbols, and then my moon sign is a Scorpio. So do with that information what you will. I am an Aries sun, Sag rising, and Scorpio moon. Oh, and here's Figaro coming to say hello. Quick little note, I got this desk brush off of Amazon. I don't know if it's technically called a desk brush, but that's what I searched in Amazon, and I use it to swipe away any pencil, eraser, shavings, and it's just a great purchase. I'm so glad I got a brush for my desk. So for the rest of the spread, I'm pretty much just going to be coloring in some things. And I wanted to take this moment to say that even though this is an Aries themed bullet journal, it was important to me to include my rising and moon sign, because those really do make up a person, sometimes even more so than the sun sign. It's the big three together that I think really can tell a lot about someone's personality. I'm not a huge, 100% hardcore believer in, zodiacs. I think they're fun, but I don't think they're 100% accurate or anything like that. But I do think that they feel more accurate when you get to know someone's rising and moon sign as well as their sun sign, because I feel like just knowing someone's sun sign isn't enough. So I wanted to include my big three, just so you guys get to know me a little bit better. I added a little bit of black washi tape to the border because I just felt like this spread was missing some of the darkness that my first spread had, some of the value, contrast, and depth. So yeah, I think adding a little bit of black to the border really helped, and now I'm just doing some ombre for my rising and moon symbols. And that pretty much wraps up this spread as well. I do a little bit of gold bordering, and yeah, I really love how this turned out. I think this big three kind of thing was a lot of fun, and I really liked how instead of just making boxes for each section for each book, the boxes are kind of color blocks this month instead of just lines separating the boxes. So that was cool. And here I'm just writing Sagittarius and Scorpio by their designated symbols. Y'all, my chart is very, very heavy on the fire signs, and then randomly my moon is a Scorpio, and it's a water sign, and I feel like that just really kind of clashes with the amounts of fire I have on my chart. So that's something that a little bit of a battle I face every day, having a Scorpio moon, but it is what it is. Now we are moving on to the third and final spread. I usually have 4, like I said at the beginning of the video, but because I'm doubling up the pages, skipping a page to use these markers, I'm only doing 3. So this last page, I've condensed quite a bit of things in it. So I've effectively split this page in half by using this fire along the bottom third. So I am obviously coloring in the rest of the page black just to have some contrast with the fire that will be there on the bottom. But using this fire is going to split the page, and so that it gives me more space to play and more division throughout. And you will see what I mean in a second. But basically I'm just coloring in and making this spread pretty dark, to be honest. And again, I'm going to be using Tombow markers a lot to color in the fire here in a bit. And I am pulling the same font from the first spread back into this last one, which is a good touch, a good way to stay cohesive. And now I'm getting into coloring the fire with the Tombow markers. And for some reason, for this page, I struggled a little bit more to blend. I think I was just used to blending with the Copic markers, and so when I switched over to a water-based marker after doing alcohol markers, it gave me a bit of trouble and I had to blend quite a bit. But yeah, that's what I'm going to be doing for the next minute or so. So on the bottom third on these two pages, on the left side, that will be my TBR list, and on the right side, I'm going to have my hauled list there in the flames. So that's how I'm splitting this page up. So I have those two sections already on the bottom, and that leaves the top 2/3 on each side for my other things that I need to include. So here on the top left, I am putting my calendars for my habit tracker or goal tracker or whatever you want to call it. So that's where I'm keeping my calendars for that, and I'm just writing habit tracker in my trusty dusty white gel pen. And on my right side there, you can see I've written monthly fave. So that's where I will print out a picture of my favorite book in the month of March, and I'll paste that there at the end of the month. So now you kind of see what I mean when I say that the fire really gives a division to the page and splits it up so that I have good borders or good marks between the different tasks that each section of the page needs to achieve, because I usually use 2 different spreads for all of these things, but I've condensed them all to one spread. So yeah, this is my Aries themed solution to cramming 4 different things onto one spread and condensing. So yeah, I think it works out pretty well, and here I'm just adding some stars to the black and a bit of gold here and there, and coloring in my TBR and hauled titles here at the bottom. And by the way, my boyfriend lovingly calls this my biker spread, which he's not wrong. It does have biker vibes to it, which wasn't my intent, but honestly, Aries can be kind of feisty, or at least they think they can be feisty, so I still think it fits pretty well. Alright guys, it is time for the final flip through. I am so proud of this month's theme and how it turned out. I just think the colors are so bright. I love the gold and the black paired with the fiery, bright tones of the reds and oranges. I just love it. I think the colors associated with an Aries are so beautiful, and yeah, I just could not be happier with this title spread in particular. I think it is my favorite by far. And here is my second spread. This is my books read spread. I just realized I didn't ever put a title of books read on this page at all, but that's okay by me. I know what it is. I think the brightness and the colors of this page really speak to the fun and youthful sides to the Aries sign, you know. I think overall we are like children at heart. We love to have fun, and this page kind of says that for me. I don't know if you guys get that vibe, but for me this page gives me the youthful essence of an Aries. And now on to the page that represents that Aries temper, y'all. This is the biker page, and you can see I added this like almost caution tape looking gold and black washi tape border. I needed a border for this page. It couldn't go without it after the first 2 pages had borders. So I threw this one in, and it just added to the whole chaotic kind of biker vibe, which again wasn't my original intent, but it does speak to the Aries temper. I know I can't speak for all of us, but I can sure attest to the Aries temper. Alright guys, that wraps up this video. Whether you're an Aries or not, I hope you enjoyed this month's theme. And yeah, that's it from me. Subscribe if you feel so inclined, and I hope to see you in the next one. Bye!